Hey, it's me, Matty P. In the Lost Minds of Phandelver, what if the Black Spider joins the party? Or even the Nothic, or Klarg, or the recently controversial Owlbear? This is what we're talking about today. So me and my mate Randall Wright came up with this list of 13 NPCs that could potentially join the party as a battle companion. That's my homebrew rules for NPC allies. But the super short version of these rules is this turns an NPC ally into a lair action for the party. It happens once per round and it happens at the end of the round. That's it. So for each of these, we're covering why would they join the party? What potential action could the party take to unlock their affinity bonus that makes them a better friend? And why would these NPCs leave the party? Because we want these battle companions, these allies, to be temporary, so the party cycles through them and meets lots of new faces. Also, we've got a sponsor today. How professional is this? So a bit later in this video, we will talk in depth about the player companion by Dragon Shield and also the GM companion, also by Dragon Shield. These are really cool. You're going to want to see what's inside. So when I do the proper sponsorship bit, don't skip it, please. Sir Sildar Hallwinter. Sildar is Gundren's companion, and he's the most NPC in the entire module, I think. He's practically walking around with a big exclamation point on his head the whole time. So his battle companion ability, his rad feature, is called Aggressive Harry. And what it does is just impose disadvantage on an enemy for their whole turn. Sildar could join the party even in session 1, because they will rescue him, ideally, from the Cragmore hideout. He's being held captive by Yeemik the Goblin. So if they manage to save him, and he happens to have more than one hit point, they actually keep him alive. If any player is willing to give him a weapon, arm this old valiant knight, then he will assist them. But he will leave the party when they reach Phandalin, because at that point, he's going to set up shop in the Town Master's office. So the party's only really got him for the Cragmore hideout. However, the Cragmores took Sildar's weapon and his armor, and they took it to the Cragmore Castle. So if the players go to Cragmore Castle, they recover his weapons, and they bring it back to him, then he will rejoin the party with his affinity bonus unlocked. Yano Elbrick, but you can call me Glassstaff. Glassstaff. Glassstaff can hit an enemy with a blinding curse. This blinds that enemy. It might seem kind of tricky to have one of the story's major villains join the party. It might seem kind of dumb, but I think it could work because Glassstaff, as I imagine him, is very pragmatic. He has a goal, and in his mind, working with the Black Spider is the best way to achieve that goal. That goal is to have dominion over the town of Phandalin. But if the party is convincing enough, they have the right arguments, they haven't been as brutal as some parties are to the Red Brands, then he could be convinced that he's better off working with the party. He would join them as long as he's guaranteed to have that goal of dominion over Phandalin fulfilled. As to when Glassstaff should leave the party, well, hey, it's hard to keep him in. I mean, he was convinced to turncoat once. He could be convinced to turncoat again. So if somebody offers him a better deal, or if he just decides that, hey, maybe the party isn't the best option for achieving my goals, I'm going to skedaddle. But you've got to remember that Glassstaff is a little bit evil, right? So the party might have to do something a little bit evil to get his affinity upgrade. So I imagine Glassstaff and Sildar of being two faces of the same coin. There's a rivalry there, even if Sildar might not recognize it. So if the party can do something to, drastically embarrass and disgrace Sildar or have him run out of town, Glassstaff would love that. And at this point, you might be thinking, oh, Matt, I love these little battle companion handouts, but if I give that to my players, they're just going to get lost. I hate my players. They lose everything. They're ruining my life. Well, I've got news for you. Let me just summon my sponsor demon. It's me, the sponsorship demon. I'm here to show you stuff. Dragon Shield have developed these rad player companions and GM companions for role-playing games. We're talking about the player companion today. It is a portable play space, because in here you've got space to roll your dice and store your dice and your player's handbook, a special spot for your miniature, your pens, your notebook. You can even prop your tablet up here so you can use D&D Beyond. And there's this protective film here you can put your character sheet behind. And that means you can use dry erase markers just to tick off your death saves or keep track of your hit points on it without having to make it all messy and scratch off pencil marks with an eraser. I live in a tiny apartment with no game table. We all sit on a couch around the coffee table when we play, and that coffee table space, that's at a premium. So the players can take these player companions and put them on their lap, and that's where they roll their dice. This thing is foldable, so it can take up as much space as you need it to. You should be able to find Dragon Shield's player companion and GM companion at your local game store, wherever you buy your TTRPG stuff. But I will leave a link downstairs to Dragon Shield's website. And next time, we'll get into more detail about the Game Master companion. It's really cool. Bart Stonehill. Bart specifically has 2 goals. 1, mess up Red Brands. 2, rescue his friend Clint that has been captured by the Red Brands. Clint's an original character we added in. So he will join the party as soon as he gets wind that the party are ready to attack the Red Brands at their hideout. He goes, yeah, I'm ready to storm those red boys. Is that okay? Can I do the... I don't think I can do the accent. But that means that as soon as the party has either dealt with Glassstaff and he's no longer a threat, or the party discovers Clint in the holding cell, regardless of whether Clint is alive or dead, Bart will take Clint to Sister Garaele, but he might rejoin the party if they unlock his affinity upgrade. You see, in my imagining of Bart in a custom backstory that will be published soon, doesn't this look interesting? Ooh, it's not out yet. I'm still working on it. So in my imagining of Bart's backstory, he had a magical axe named Hugh that was lost at Wyvern Tour back in the days when he was an adventurer clearing out wyverns. So if the party managed to collect that from Wyvern Tour, bring it back to Bart, then he's going to get that spark again. Sister Garaele. Sister Garaele is the priestess of luck over at the Shrine of Luck in Phandalin. So, of course, her ability is called Lux, a YouTube channel that is family friendly and completely monetized. This ability lets one of her allies, if they roll an odd number on their d20, they can add a d4 of blessing. Sister Garaele's got a side quest for the party. She's being haunted by this banshee and it's gonna take over her body. She's freaking out. So she asks the party to go deal with the banshee, go appease it, go put it to rest. And if the party does that, then she is willing to join the party and help out. But if you're looking for Sister Garaele to leave the party, then you should look for an NPC that is injured, someone that's mortally wounded, and Sister Garaele can take them back to the Shrine of Luck for healing. The players could unlock Sister Garaele's affinity upgrade if any of them decide to multi-class into Cleric or Paladin in service of the god Tymora, which is the god or goddess of luck. That's who Sister Garaele serves. Or if the party manages to go back to that banshee that they appeased, and if they kill it, if they murk that ghost, hey, Sister Garaele would love that. The Dwarf Necromancer, whose name I've forgotten. The Necromancer has the Bone Tackle ability, where these spooky skeleton arms come out of the ground and grapple a target. When the players meet the Necromancer on the way to complete Agatha's quest, he's there waiting at the edge of the swamp or the cottage or whatever, and he's saying, hey, can you please go collect that lady's book and bring it back to me? Now, I think 9 times out of 10, players don't do that. They keep the book to themselves, right? But if they do bring it back to the Necromancer, he's stoked and he wants to repay the favor by joining the party. If you want the Necromancer to leave the party, well, he is obsessed with ancient knowledge. That's why he wants this book, right? So if there's an ancient knowledge kind of better deal out there, something that he can study and learn from, he's going to take that. I think a good opportunity would be if he meets Mormask the Wraith in the Wave Echo Cave. He is just enraptured by talking to this powerful undead, and he goes, hey, I'm going to stay here. To unlock his affinity upgrade, just flash back with me to that moment that the Black Spider approached this Necromancer and said, hey, come work with us, join the Spider's Web Alliance. And this Necromancer said no. I can imagine he has some kind of contempt for these other villains out there scheming and plotting over wealth when he just wants knowledge. And if he could defeat one of them and raise them as an undead creature, I think he would feel pretty vindicated by that. Who do these other villains think they are? Don't they know who I am? I'm the Necromancer, whose name Matt forgot. Klarg. Klarg's rad feature is called Big Bully. He literally picks up one of his allies and then charges with them in a straight line, like a linebacker. I don't know what linebackers do. The players encounter Klarg as the big bad boss of the Cragmore hideout, and I imagine Klarg as a very evil, albeit easygoing guy. So I think it's not out of the question for the players just to trick Klarg into joining the party. But of course, if you want Klarg to leave the party, then this is a friendship and alliance based on a lie, and inevitably that lie is gonna unravel. And when that trust is, shown to be built on shaky ground, Klarg will vamoose. To unlock Klarg's affinity upgrade, you just gotta remember that Klarg's an evil person, but he does like to laugh. So if the party are pulling some kind of really cruel prank consistently on NPCs, hey, Klarg just live, laugh, loves it, and he goes, ha ha ha, I love this team. Yeemik. Yeemik's ability is called Piercing Peace. He sings an annoying song that disrupts an enemy's concentration checks and perception checks. Yeemik is another baddie from the Cragmore hideout. He's the person holding Sildar captive, you recall, the leader that wants to depose Klarg and take over the Cragmore hideout. Now in the official module, if the party does go along with Yeemik's plan, get rid of Klarg and say, hey, now you're in charge, Yeemik just betrays them and starts to fight them. I think that kind of sucks. That's disappointing. So I thought that he might join the party if the party can promise him something better. What if they promise Yeemik, hey, we just got rid of Klarg for you, come along with us and we'll get rid of King Groll as well. You could be king. There is a limitation on where Yeemik will go with the party though. He will leave the party if they go into Phandalin and they can arrange to meet him outside. To unlock Yeemik's affinity upgrade, the party just need to give him King Groll's crown so that he is king of the Cragmores. And then in thanks, he will help the party with whatever their task is. Ixal the Nothic. The Nothic's rad feature is called Fair Warning. It uses its ability to read people's minds to give all of its allies fair warning about what's about to happen, so they can all, at the top of the round, use a reaction to move half of their movement. This Nothic is the creature hiding in the chasm at the bottom of the Red Brand hideout, and in the video on the Red Brands, I imagined this creature as something with a code of honor, like it likes bargains, it likes pacts. It has a pact currently with the Red Brands. So, in order to join the party, the players would have to convince it that its contract with the Red Brands is somehow void or invalid. If they can speak legalese at this guy, he's down to mess him up. The Red Brands, not the players. There is a limitation here though, because the Nothic will not leave the Red Brand hideout. This is its home, this is its lair, this is where it stays. Unless the party can be, super convincing and maybe cast Disguise Self on it regularly. To unlock the Nothic's affinity upgrade, the players would have to make some kind of very special, meaningful effort to upgrade the Nothic's lair in Tresidor Manor in the Red Brand hideout, or maybe if there's a warlock in the party that decides to make a pact, as in, you are now my patron Nothic, Agatha the Banshee. Agatha's ability is called Dark Whispering. It scares an enemy and frightens them to the point where they can either move or they can use an action, but they can't do both. The party encounters Agatha as part of a side quest to appease this banshee and calm it down because it's messing with Sister Garaele. So after the party does that via a bunch of skill checks, a skill challenge, then she might join the party, and this is evil, remember she's not great. She might join the party if they promise to actually let her possess Sister Garaele after all. If they go, hey, you can have what you want, and she goes, all right, let's go. For Agatha to leave the party, super easy, because she is bound spiritually to this place, this haunted cabin. So after 3 days of being away, she is zapped back there somehow. Or maybe she's destroyed, I don't know. But after 3 days, she's gone. To get her affinity upgrade, then she would need to actually possess Sister Garaele. And pro tip, everybody, this kills the nice lady. So ideally, this isn't what you want to be happening in your game. Not what I want to be happening, at least. So if she does manage to possess Sister Garaele, this adds an extra 3 days to her, I'm going to leave soon timer. At that point, though, she doesn't get zapped back to her cabin. She has some other dark, grim task to accomplish out there in the world, and she just leaves in the middle of the night to go, wreak evil upon the world. Gundren Rockseeker. If you want Gundren to join the party at any point, literally check out the previous video because I covered it in depth, including a breakdown of how these rules exactly work, all using this PDF, which you can get on Patreon for $5. It covers literally all the information that's in this video, plus a little bit more. I don't know how to do an Owlbear voice. Ooh. The Owlbear's rad feature is called Gory Feast. When a player pierces or slashes an opponent, the owlbear runs in, just gallops up to have a big old bite. I can see it being pretty unlikely that the owlbear would join the party. This is like a tortured, feral, captive beast, right? So if they succeed a very hard skill check, maybe they get 4 successes before 3 failures in trying to appease this owlbear when they encounter it in the Cragmore Castle, then sure, it can join the party. But here's the thing, like this is a traumatized animal at the hands of a bunch of goblins. So if you want it to leave the party, it will not go into Phandalin or any enclosed area. It's been trapped once and it will not be trapped again. For its affinity upgrade, very specifically, if you decide there is a specific kind of animal trainer that was, messing with this owlbear at the Cragmore Castle, then if this owlbear gets the killing blow on it, or maybe King Groll, if it gets the killing blow, that's the affinity upgrade. It's another animal. Wolf. It's the wolf, so awoo. The wolf's ability is called Pack Tactics. It gives allies advantage against a specific enemy, as it kind of like harries the heels. I'm actually pretty sentimental about this wolf because this was the first handout, the first thing that I homebrewed for this campaign over on Patreon. And it's when the party finds this wolf tortured in the cave, like it's chained up, oh no, so sad. Here's a little handout to have it join the party for the session. Now, this is a replacement of that. If the party does the same thing, they do the skill checks to free this wolf, then instead the wolf will become a battle companion. But if you do want the wolf to leave the party, hey, it's not going to enter Phandalin, it doesn't want all those people around, so it can just meet the party when they exit again. To unlock the wolf's affinity upgrade, if you have in the party a ranger or a druid or a particularly nature-flavored version of one of the other classes, then after 5 combats, that character and the wolf become bonded, and that's the affinity upgrade. Nazar, the black spider. The black spider's rad feature is called Flash Fire. If an ally misses an attack against a creature, the black spider automatically blasts them for some fire damage. In the Phandalin NPCs video, I talk about how the black spider, my black spider, will go and help the party against the red brands, jumps down, gives them a bit of a hand. At that point, a lot of people have been telling me that the party asked the black spider to help kill the red brands, like take out the red brand hideout. So, I don't know, I think the players are just going to ask her to join the party and she'll say yes. To get her out of the party though, you got to remember the black spider's perspective here. This is a potential threat that she's analyzing. So she will spend one long rest with the party, observing their habits, their personalities, getting to know them on a personal level. And then during the next long rest, she will leave. She disappears in the middle of the night. To unlock her affinity bonus, I think that this should be almost impossible. This should not happen if your campaign is going correctly. If the party legitimately joins her side, they learn her true nature, they learn her true goals, and they go, do you know what? We're in. And now you're running an evil campaign for some reason. At that point, the black spider, hey, have the affinity bonus. You've earned it, you troublesome players. If you want to get the full write-up of these rules, including all the handouts, it's available on Patreon right now for $5, along with everything else I've ever made on Patreon. These are my patrons down here. Thank you so much, patrons. And what do you guys think of this new stuff from Dragon Shield? It's real cool. We're going to cover these a few more times this month and next month, finishing with a big old review of both products. I'm really excited. Anyway, hey, I'll see you later. Peace.